Hello, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I'd like to talk about one of our current restos. It's a Series 2+2. Now, we want to talk about values of E-Types, in this episode. All I will say is that the owners are fully aware of the value of a 2+2 Series 2. However, this is a very, very usable car. They're tall people and they needed the space. They need the extra long doors so they can get in and out easily. They're going to be using the car for long distance touring. So they've even got a connection for the wine cooler in the back for when they're touring Italy and Spain and places like that. I will introduce you to the guy who actually restored the car, John, in a minute or two. All right, so first of all, externally, you can see that we've deleted the side chromes that go on the doors and on the forward part of the rear wing, which I think really helps enhance the look of a 2+2. When you've got them fitted to a 2+2, you can see instantly a 2+2. With this, I think you've got to do a double take with it, and I think it really does help. Coming round to the rear of the car, we can see we've got a reversing camera here. And we've got the Series 1 exhaust pipes here. Behind the number plate, we've got our pressure flap, which allows air to come out of the cabin, so the heater isn't trying to actually go against a pressurised space. We've also deleted the reversing lights. The indicator covers here are plain, clear. That was what the owner asked for. We've got they're plain on the front as well. Opalescent Dark Blue, lovely colour combination with a red interior. We've got 5.5-inch competition wheels with 185 Cinturato tyres on them, and they just fill the arches enough. It's just enough, and the handling is really nice with these tyres. It's not over rubbered. So what I'd like to do now is to introduce John, and he can talk us through a little bit more on some of the upgrades that we've done. John.
Upgrades. MX5 seats. We start on the interior.
Yep.
We've got MX5 seats, which are also heated. We have power steering, modern touchscreen stereo system, speakers in the footwells, and just behind the driver's and passenger seat you'll see an additional speaker as well, which is we try to make this look as factory as possible.
And it really does help with the surround sound in the car. The other thing, John, that you've not mentioned, something that I absolutely adore, and I want it in my car at some point, is our dashboard, our extended dashboard there, where you can see you've got additional switchgear just here for air conditioning. What else is on that panel? It's aircon and is it a fan?
Heated rear screen.
Heated rear screen. Yeah, is on there as well.
And the aircon control.
So it's a lovely, lovely place to be. But because it's a 2+2, we've got a Jaguar standard gearbox fitted with Jaguar Laycock overdrive, and it absolutely transforms the car. If you've got a 2+2 or a V12, strongly recommend that you go for that option if you can, rather than a 5-speed box. I love the feel of the all-synchro Jaguar box. It's just, there's nothing like, it's like a rifle bolt. They are really, really nice. The good thing about the sports seats that we fitted as well is that the actual mechanism, the recline, does work very, very well. So you can see that, and it's solid. You've got the headrest here. Recommend that in the event of a rear end collision, you're not going to snap your neck. Now, if we go to the back, we've also got inertial reel seat belts that have been very, very well hidden. You can see there's a chrome escutcheon down there that the actual belt runs through, which is a lovely touch. The rear of the car, you can see where the 2+2 really scores. I'll get John to move that. It's the back of the rear seat goes forward.
Just push that forward. forward.
And there we
Easy
are.
for me, but they're quite a complex seat to fit, but a very simple mechanism. Just on a cantilever. So that can be pushed from inside or outside the car easily.
I mean, it's called a 2+2, but you know, it's only for very, very small people in the back there. You wouldn't want to be doing a long distance journey with it, to be honest with you. If you come around here, you can see we've got these are the connectors for the wine cooler, which always makes us smile. But it's a lovely, lovely touch. If we open the bonnet, go around that side, John.
Mm-hmm.
If we open the bonnet, we show you what's going on under here. Door rubbers need to settle down, but they will. That's over here, isn't it? Yep. So again, we've got a standard engine here. Notice the position of the washer bottle on the 2+2. They've moved it to there. But everything has been restored, been rebuilt. We've got an upgraded radiator, an upgraded cooling fan there. We've got the air conditioning unit there, uprated alternator. We've got about 500 miles on it, 600 miles on it now, John?
About 1,000 miles.
1,000 miles,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So the reason the car's not actually, shiny and looking gorgeous is because the owner brought it back to have the oil change done, and they've been driving it. And I thought, well, I need to get the video done because he's picking it up tomorrow. I thought it would just be nice to get a quick video done on the car, just to talk through. Is there anything else that we want to cover under here, John, that I've missed? Not really?
Not
No?
really, no.
No, okay,
No.
fine. All right. It's good. No, that's okay. So
all the
that
additions
really,
in there.
I mean, what I'll do is just show you. This is where a lot of the time goes on a restoration. When you properly restore a car, this is where a lot of the time goes, and it's in the fit of everything. So if you look at the chrome fit around here, you can see it's all been fitted well. This is original chrome here. That's why we've got a dent in it there. We thought we'd rather live with a dent in the original chrome and try and make a reproduction chrome fit well. So so that's just a compromise that we had to take. Everything else all around here is all perfect. Fits perfectly, and that's a lot of effort to get that right. It really is. We've got a Series 1 internal mirror in there as well, because we think it aesthetically just looks nicer than the stick-on Series 2 one. If you look at the chrome fit around here as well, it's all good. We've actually got a former for this rubber here, so we can pre-form it on a jig, so we don't end up with the rubber bunching up when we come to fit it, which is always, it just makes it look so much nicer. If you come to the front of the car, you can see the clear indicator lenses there as well. So all in all, just a lovely car, ready to be used, driven. This car will cruise happily 80, 90 miles an hour all day long with that overdrive. How many revs have you got at 70 with this, John?
2,000, 2,500 RPM.
2,500. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
That's a really comfortable drive.
It
Really,
is, isn't it?
really
It is
yeah.
comfortable. And my car, we've got a 5-speed box in it, and I'm doing about 2,370, which is comfortable. But this is even better with the overdrive on third and fourth. The final thing I'd just like to point out: when we panel a car and build a car, we go for as tight a gaps as we can, so we don't have the traditional Series 2 bumper rubber fitted. This is Series 1 type, which is a thinner one, which would look so much nicer.
We do spend a lot of time making sure the blades are horizontal, and that the overriders are straight as well. It takes a lot of time, but it's really it's worth it. Makes the car look correct.
Getting the fit up right is so difficult. and that's where all the time goes. You know, grinding things down, filing, shimming. You know, if we come back to inside the car, just have a look at the detail of what's gone on. I mean, if you look at all the switches, everything just fits nicely. I'm just going to open the glove box and show you that. So the glove box, you know, there we are, and then when you come to close it, a nice click shut. Everything as it should be. All of this here fitted nicely. The trim level's very, very good. You know, everything about the car, you know, has been done very, very well. You'd be hard pressed to actually fault it. The other thing that we do is we put a battery kill switch inside the car. No good if your engine's on fire and you've got to open the bonnet to actually kill the battery. So that was our thinking on it. So that's it. And if you've got any questions, please let me know. But don't forget to like and subscribe. It does really help us. And we'll be releasing more and more videos, which we hope will be of interest to everyone. We're looking to do a regular slot soon, which will be Bodge of the Week, where we found someone else's bodges on cars that have come in for work. No names and no pack drill. Upgrades, what a little concours slot. So what would be absolutely correct for a car, and an explanation on why they did some of the things they did on the cars, because we think, why did they do that? And after a few, lots of thinking and head scratching, oh, I get that now. I understand why it was built in that way. So that's it for now. Thanks very much, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.